Dearest soul seekers, welcome back to another beautiful story that will touch your heart and stir your spirit. Today, we ride deep into the soul of Africa, where every story breathes life, love, and lessons that linger long after the tale is told. So sit back, relax, and let the story unfold. Welcome to Lagos. No, this is Lagos, where the streets are paved with gold, if you count the countless yellow danfos zooming by. This is the city where the hustle is your daily bread, and the only thing faster than the area boys is the speed at which your data bundle disappears. Lagosians are masters of survival, whether it is outsmarting the legendary One Chance or squeezing into a keke with more people than you would think possible. The air is thick with the smell of street food, the sound of honking horns, and the unmistakable rhythm of life that never slows down. Here you will find skyscrapers standing tall next to bustling markets, where everyone is a customer in quotes, and even the dogs understand pidgin English. Lagos is where dreams are chased, often caught, and occasionally lost to traffic jams. It's a city where you might meet a millionaire today and a pure water seller tomorrow, and they could be the same person. So buckle up, hold on tight, and get ready for the ride of your life. Because in Lagos, every day is a new chapter in the widest story ever told. Dearest soul seekers, have you ever been to Lagos? What was your first impression, and how did it shape your journey? For Ifem, a girl from Oka, Lagos was the only place where her dreams could take flight. She had always been ambitious, determined to escape the small town life and build something bigger. She was a tailor, and a talented one at that, but in Oka, she felt limited because majorly her customers were friends and family. Every night, she would lie on her thin mattress, staring up at the ceiling, imagining herself in Lagos. And so, with a few naira in her pocket and a heart full of hope, she left Oka behind, hoping for at least a welcome to Lagos. On the day Ifem left for Lagos, her mother tried to mask her worry with a tight smile. "Mwam, be careful," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Lagos is not like Oka. You have to be smart. Remember where you come from, and don't let anyone take advantage of you." Ifem nodded, trying to ease her mother's fears. "Mama, I will be fine. I will make you proud." Her mother sighed, pulling her into a tight embrace. "Just don't forget us when you are famous." So, as the bus pulled out of the station, Ifem watched her hometown fade into the distance, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. She was leaving behind everything she knew, but she was also stepping into a future that she had always dreamed of. Ifem's first day in Lagos was a mix of excitement and confusion. The noise was the first thing that hit her. In Oka, mornings were greeted with the crowning of roosters and the gentle hum of people starting their day. But in Lagos, the day started with the blaring of horns, the shouts of market women, and the constant rumble of life moving at breakneck speed. She had an address clutched in her hand, a cousin's place in Ebeda, where she was supposed to stay until she found her footing. But Lagos, with its expansive, unorganized chaos, was not kind to newcomers. As she stood at the bus stop, trying to make sense of the route, a danfo crashed to a halt in front of her. Beda, 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 oh, the conductor shouted in rapid Yoruba. Ifem tried to confirm the bus's destination, but the words came out too fast for her to catch. Sister, enter your no time, the conductor urged, practically pushing her onto the bus. She complied, clutching her bag tightly, the unfamiliarity of the city making her uneasy. The bus sped off, and "This is Lagos" came in guise of a wrong bus stop. Ifem realized that she was in Abado and not Ebeda. Excuse me please, I'm supposed to go to Ebeda, Ifem said timidly to the conductor as she stepped off the bus. The conductor, an impatient man with a scroll entashed permanently on its face, shrugged dismissively. Ebeda ko, this wasn't a girl Ebeda, na Abado be this, he replied in a mix of Pidgin and Yoruba. Panic surged through Ifem. She had heard of Abado 2 hours from where she needed to be, and it was late. How do I get back to Ebeda? The conductor waved her off. Go dey look for another bus where they go Ebeda. You no go waka tire. As Ifem stood there, lost and disoriented, she felt tears prickling at the corners of her eyes. She had barely been in Lagos a few hours, and already it was testing her resolve. The city seemed determined to make her feel small and insignificant. Desperation drove her to approach a woman selling groundnuts by the roadside. "Auntie, please, how do I get to Ebeda?" she asked, hoping for some kindness. The woman, who had the hardened look of someone who has seen it all in Lagos, gave Ifem a once-over before responding in broken English. "Ebeda? You done lost though. You go turn left, then find another door for where they go back." She weighed her, paused, and then said, "Find hotel sleep before you lost finally. You get one hotel for that street, and it dey cheap." Ifem nodded, trying to hold back her tears as she followed the woman's directions. As she plodded along, she couldn't help but feel the pangs of doubt. Was this the Lagos she had dreamed of? Dear soul seekers, Lagos is a city that never sleeps. Would you thrive in this environment? Or does the chaos make you long for something calmer? What is your first day in Lagos story like? Ifem followed the directions to the hotel she had been pointed to and checked into a budget room. Feeling homesick and frustrated, she remembered how she had lost her phone to a daylight robber as she tried to take a selfie. She wanted to time travel backwards to when she didn't have to get into a bus coming to Lagos. Soon, the hunger pangs kicked in, so she decided to head to the hotel restaurant to grab a bite, maybe with a little alcohol to steady her nerves. After eating and not in the mood for alcohol, she headed back to her room, only to realize, too late though, that she had entered the wrong one and was rudely interrupting a couple in a compromising solution. "Oh my God, I am so sorry," Ifem stammered, her face turning bet red as she quickly shut the door. She was about to flee the scene when the door opened and a woman stepped out, laughing. She was wrapped in a bedsheet, her head disheveled, but her eyes sparkling with amusement. "Girl, no worry. "Now your first time be this?" she teased. Ifem, still mortified, mumbled an apology. I didn't mean to. I was just looking for my room. I have had a really bad day." The woman waved her off, still laughing. "It's okay. It happens. I am Ijoma, by the way." She extended her hand, still holding on to the sheet with the other. Ifem shook her hand awkwardly, trying to avoid eye contact. "I am Ifem. Sorry again." Ijoma chuckled and pulled Ifem aside. "You look like you need a drink. Come, let me get you something to take the edge off." Over drinks, Ifem and Ijoma hit it off. They talked about everything from their hometowns to Ifem's rigorous journey. Ifem found out that Ijoma was from Enugu and had been in Lagos for a few years. She was working as a manager at a tech company, but had side hustles that ranged from selling clothes to organizing events. "Lagos no be place for gentle people, oh," Ijoma said, her voice full of wisdom beyond her years. "You gats hustle, shine your eyes, or else the city go swallow you." Ifem nodded, grateful for Ijoma's advice and companionship. That night marked the beginning of a friendship that would become one of the most important relationships in Ifem's life. Ifem was finally finding her footing in Lagos. Her business was picking up, thanks to Ijoma's connections and street savvy. But even as she thrived, she remained focused on her goals, keeping romance at arm's length. That was until she met Tunde. He was everything a girl could want: tall, dark and handsome, with a voice that could melt butter. They met when Tunde brought in a suit to be tailored for a big meeting. Ifem, as usual, was all business, but Tunde was charming, persistent, and just the right amount of annoying. He would drop by the shop just to say hello, bring her lunch when she was too busy to eat, and compliment her work in ways that made her blush. One afternoon, Tunde walked into her shop with that confident swagger she was starting to recognize. "Hey Ifem, I brought you something." He placed a bag on the counter, the smell of jollof rice wafting through the air. Ifem looked up from her sewing machine, trying to suppress a smile. "Tunde, I told you not to bring me food. You are spoiling me, oh." "Is it a crime to spoil a beautiful woman?" Tunde teased, leaning on the counter with a grin. "Besides, I can't have you fainting from hunger. Who will make my clothes if you collapse?" Ifem shook her head, but she couldn't help the warmth that spread through her. It had been a long time since anyone had shown her this kind of attention. "Thank you," she said in a soft voice, "but you don't have to do this." "I know I don't have to," Tunde replied, his tone serious now. "But I want to. Ifem, you work so hard. You deserve someone to take care of you for a change." Ifem felt her heart skip a beat. She had always prided herself on her independence, but there was something about Tunde that made her want to let her guard down. Maybe just a little. "You are too kind," she said, taking the bag from him. "But I hope you're not just doing this because you want a discount on your suit." Tunde laughed, a deep, rich sound that made Ifem's inside flutter. "Discount? No way. Your work is worth every naira. But if it means I get to see you smile, I will take it." Over time, Tunde's persistence paid off. Ifem found herself looking forward to his visits, to their conversations that ranged from work to life in Lagos, to their shared love for music. He was smart, successful, and attentive. Everything she thought she wanted in a man. And he made her feel special in a way no one else has ever done. Despite the nagging voice in her head telling her to be cautious, Ifem couldn't help but fall for Tunde. He was a distraction from the hustle of Lagos, a reprieve from the struggles of making it in the city. And for the first time since she had arrived in Lagos, Ifem allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, she could have it all: the career, the success, and the love. Dearest soul seekers, have you ever met someone who made you feel like you were living in a dream, but somehow the butterflies are not giving off the right vibes? How do you know when it is love? The weeks turned into months, and Ifem and Tunde grew closer. Their relationship blossomed, and Ifem felt like she was living in a dream. Tunde was always there when she needed him, always with a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or a listening ear. He became her rock, the one constant in the whirlwind of her Lagos life. One evening, after a hectic day at the shop, Tunde invited Ifem to dinner at a cozy restaurant in Lekki. As they sat across from each other, sharing a bottle of wine and enjoying the soft jazz playing in the background, Ifem felt a sense of contentment she hadn't felt in a long time. "You know," Tunde said, reaching across the table to take her hand, "I've been thinking a lot about us lately." Ifem's heart skipped a beat. "Oh, what about?" "About how happy you make me," Tunde said, his eyes locking onto hers. "I've never met anyone like you. Ifem, you are strong, independent, and beautiful. I feel like I'm the luckiest man alive." Ifem blushed, ducking her head to hide her smile. "Tunde." "No, I mean it," he insisted, squeezing her hand. "I don't want to rush you, but I think we have something special here, something worth holding on to." Ifem looked up to him, her heart swelling with emotion. "I feel the same way," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. I'm just scared, Tunde. Everything is happening so fast." "I know," Tunde said, his tone soothing, "but I'm not going anywhere, okay? We will take it one step at a time. I am here for you, Ifem, always." Those words were all it took for Ifem to let go of her reservations. She allowed herself to fall completely, to believe that she had finally found someone who would stand by her no matter what. But as they say, Lagos has a way of testing even the strongest of convictions. Love is in Lagos, or... It was on a rainy evening, a few weeks later, that Ifem's world came crashing down. She was closing up her shop when Ijoma rushed in, her face pale and her eyes wide with concern. "Ifem, you need to see this," Ijoma said, thrusting her phone into Ifem's hands. Ifem took the phone, confused, but her confusion quickly turned to shock as she saw what was on the screen. It was a photo of Tunde smiling broadly, his arm around a beautiful woman. The caption read, "Celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary. Love you, babe." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Ifem's hands trembled as she scrolled through the comments, each one more painful than the last. "Beautiful couple. Wishing you many more years of happiness. Can't believe it's been 5 years already. Ifem's mind raced, trying to make sense of what she was saying. This can't be true, she whispered, her voice cracking. Tunde never mentioned, he never mentioned. Ijoma placed a comforting hand on Ifem's shoulder. I am so sorry, Ifem. I found out through a friend who knows his wife. I didn't want to believe it, but when I saw the post, Ifem felt as if the ground has been ripped out from under her. How could she have been so blind? How could she have let herself be deceived? The man she had trusted, the man she had given her heart to, was nothing more than a liar, a married man who had played her like a fool. Tears welled up in Ifem's eyes, and she sank into a chair, the weight of the betrayal crushing her. How could he do this to me? She sobbed, burying her face in her hands. Ijoma knelt beside her, holding her close as she cried. Men like Tunde, they are everywhere in this city. They prey on women like you, women with big dreams and kind hearts. But you are stronger than this, Ifem. My girl, Lagos love is like downfall ride. Bumpy, unpredictable, but now also adventure. Heartbreak na your first Lagosian ride. Ifem smiled through tears. She wasn't sure if she would ever be able to pick up the pieces of her shattered heart, but she was grateful for the gift of Ijoma. Dearest soul seekers, when trust is broken in a relationship, can it ever be fully restored? And we thought it was the Femis. We should have warned Ifem about the fine Tundes of this world.